Chapter 201. The Clark family's main hall had never been this lively during the daytime. Servants moved back and forth carrying wine, tea, and refreshments, while several branch family members occupied nearby seats discussing family affairs. Normally the atmosphere remained orderly and dignified. Today almost everyone found themselves distracted by the same scene unfolding near the center of the hall. Tony Clark sat comfortably in one of the main seats as though he owned the world itself. A wine cup rested lazily in his hand, while a beautiful village girl sat beside him, completely ignoring the strange looks being directed toward them from every corner of the hall. The servants were stunned. The younger generation was stunned. Even several elders passing through the hall found themselves glancing over more than once. After all, the young master had completed his wedding barely a day ago. Yet here he was openly drinking with another beautiful woman, while acting as though nothing unusual was happening. The gossip potential alone was enough to keep the servants busy for an entire month. Lily ignored the surrounding stares and took a sip from her cup before leaning slightly toward Tony. She asked, "Tell me honestly, what exactly is the purpose of this dream realm? Ever since I entered this place, I've been running around challenging people, because I thought this was some sort of combat trial." She continued, "Do we need to defeat somebody important? Do we need to become stronger than everyone else?" She paused, then asked, "Or is there some hidden objective we're supposed to discover before leaving?" Tony laughed before taking a drink. "You're overthinking it. This isn't some complicated death game where we need to hunt each other down. It's more like a limited time opportunity handed out by the World Tree. Think of it as being thrown into an ancient world and being allowed to experience life here until the timer runs out." Lily blinked. "That's it." Tony nodded. "That's it." Lily frowned. "There has to be more." Tony shook his head. "There probably is, but not in the way you're imagining. The biggest opportunity here isn't treasure, it's knowledge. We can't take spirit herbs. We can't take ancient weapons. We can't steal cultivation resources. The moment the dream realm ends, all those things disappear. But if you learn an ancient technique, understand an ancient cultivation theory, or memorize a forgotten martial art, nobody can take that away." Lily sighed, realizing her mistake. "Oh no, I challenged everyone I saw." Tony chuckled. "Don't laugh. I can't help it. I challenged guards, martial artists, merchants, academy students, and even some old man who turned out to be a retired expert." Tony finally burst out laughing. Lily grabbed a nearby fruit and threw it at his head. "If I had died inside this place, my father would have committed suicide after finding out how stupid I was." Tony caught the fruit and casually took a bite. "Relax. You're alive." Lily rolled her eyes but couldn't stop smiling. Despite the absurdity of the situation, finding Tony inside the dream realm felt strangely comforting. Among thousands of strangers and countless unfamiliar identities, at least one familiar face existed. Tony suddenly reached over and pinched her cheek. "Don't worry, as long as this young master remains alive, nobody will touch you. This husband will personally protect you." Lily's face immediately turned red. "Stop saying husband in public." "Why?" "Because you have another wife now." Tony laughed. Unfortunately for him, the timing couldn't have been worse. A cold voice suddenly echoed from the entrance. "Tony." The entire hall became silent. Every servant immediately lowered their heads. Every family member suddenly became interested in nearby decorations. Tony slowly turned around. Standing near the entrance was Skylar Sky, the newly married wife. The woman had clearly arrived after hearing countless rumors, her beautiful face remaining calm. Skylar's gaze moved from Tony to Lily. "Who is this girl?" Tony looked completely relaxed. "She's my combat partner." Lily immediately coughed. Skylar's expression didn't change. Tony continued with a completely straight face. "Oh, and Lily, this is my wife. We got married yesterday. I also want to clarify that despite being married, I haven't touched her yet." Absolute silence filled the hall. Several servants nearly died on the spot. Lily froze. Skylar froze. Then both women reacted simultaneously. "You what?" Their voices echoed through the hall. Tony looked genuinely pleased. "See, you're already getting along." Skylar's face turned red from embarrassment. She never expected this shameless man to discuss private matters in front of an entire hall full of people. Meanwhile, Lily felt a completely different emotion. The logical part of her mind understood everything, yet hearing him casually call another woman his wife still irritated her. Lily immediately stood. "Tony, let's leave." Skylar narrowed her eyes. "Leave where?" Lily crossed her arms. "Anywhere. I don't want to sit here listening to him call another woman his wife." Skylar took a step forward. "Who exactly are you?" The atmosphere instantly became tense. Several servants quietly retreated. They wanted front row seats to the drama, while remaining far enough away to avoid being blamed. Tony rubbed his forehead. Then Skylar did something nobody expected. She stepped in front of Tony protectively. The movement happened naturally. Instinctively, she acted as though she was defending her husband from an unknown woman. Before the argument could escalate, Tony gently moved Skylar aside and leaned toward Lily. "Please calm down and use your brain for a moment." Lily frowned. "Think about where we are. The dream realm. Look around. This is one of the strongest families in the city. We have access to a giant library, ancient manuals, forgotten cultivation theories, and resources most people would kill for. We don't need to steal anything. We don't need to rob anyone. We don't need to risk our lives. We just need to read." The more Lily listened, the more reasonable it sounded. Tony smiled. "For now, publicly you're my combat partner. We spend our time studying, learning techniques, and becoming stronger. When the dream realm ends, we leave with knowledge that could change our future. Lily finally sighed. Tony immediately looked proud. Skylar only heard a few words of the entire conversation, while feeling increasingly annoyed. For some reason, Tony appeared far more relaxed around this girl than around anyone else. It bothered her a lot. Before she could say anything else, a powerful aura suddenly entered the hall. Every conversation stopped instantly. The servants straightened. The younger generation lowered their heads. Even Skylar immediately became respectful. An elderly man slowly entered the hall. The Clark family patriarch. He was the strongest pillar supporting the family. Tony stood and smiled. "Greetings, grandfather." The old man nodded. His gaze briefly landed on Lily. For a fraction of a second, interest flashed through his eyes. The girl possessed an unusual aura, yet he didn't ask questions. Without interfering, the old man continued walking toward the inner hall. The moment he disappeared, everyone finally breathed again. Far away, hidden among the servants, Emma Rock observed everything quietly. Her eyes moved between Tony and Lily. Then she sighed. So she found him already. Emma had originally hoped to investigate Tony further, perhaps even create some trouble. Unfortunately, Lily's arrival complicated everything. Killing Tony had been difficult. Killing Tony while Lily stood beside him was nearly impossible. Meanwhile, Skylar finally snorted and turned away. "I'm done listening to this nonsense." She left the hall. Tony watched her retreating figure. Lily watched Tony. Emma watched both of them. Across the city, rumors were already spreading. The newly married young master had brought another beautiful woman into the family residence. The story grew more outrageous with every retelling. And eventually, the news reached a certain residence. Madam Lan slowly lowered her teacup after hearing the report. A strange expression appeared on her face. Tony had ignored her, completely ignored her for an entire day. And now another woman had appeared beside him. To be continued. Hope you liked today's video. Join the community by subscribing and dropping a like. I'll be back with another update as soon as possible. See you then.